Getting professional. Got an intro video. Coda Iron Games is coming up 2 months away. If you guys are in the States, Masters, RX, scaled, looking to do a fun team workout that's for everybody, great prizes, great location. Hit me up to sign up for the Coda Iron Games. It's in Colorado, early October. And yeah, welcome back. It is Tuesday, August 5th, and I am elated and exhausted still from the CrossFit Games. I'm smoked. It was super exhausting. I thought we could be gangster and go live for every episode to live stream and cast every event. I couldn't do it. We had to bail. My wife was getting pretty pissed. She was like, "How long are you going to be on this next podcast?" And I was like, "I think the window's like 2.5 hours." She's like, "Okay." I was like, "All right, well, let's just switch it up." So, anyways, all right. Good morning, sausages. What's up, Slater? Gus, yes, that is the goal of this morning. And not just CompTrain, but just, yes, 100%. Lido. So I didn't change it. I had the original one, and then I was asking if I should change it to this. And you said no, but I understand now. You meant to change it. So we changed it back. We'll see if Ben yells at me. I might have to pull it down. Here for the CompTrain hate show. Let's talk about some other things first, and then we'll get into CompTrain. Slapping on some makeup. My hair did take a little longer than usual. Sorry. It's getting thick. We're there. All right. Jan, what's up? Good morning, Jody. Thanks for being around all weekend. Vicky, you're the best. Do we get any hints on next year's location? No. Zero. More help. Yeah. I mean, more help. It's like this is like my little baby, my little passion project. So I can't ask the team to come in and like give hours and hours of time. Oh, where is it, Jan? Put it in the chat. Uh-oh. Let me know. Yeah, it's not Albany, which is, thank God it's not Albany. It's funny how a thumbnail will like really boom a show. I don't ever have 40 people on it at 7 a.m. No, we're never going back to Madison. It's too big, right? Like unless Dave, so Vicky says Dave's weekend review, he says Madison would be nice. So Madison would be great. 100%. It was an amazing. That's me, by the way. The other poophead. I was like, that's not Ben, not my Ben, that Ben. He is poophead. So Madison is great. Madison is amazing, but it's so big that the only way it makes sense is if they bring Masters, Adaptive, and Teens back under one roof, and it turns back into this fitness festival. Now, if you guys have followed the show, you know what, dude, this is like. I gotta go this way. I feel like my camera's like angled. I need to slide over. There we go. That's better. I need to work at that. Maybe it's I don't know. Anyways, which if you guys have watched the show, you know that I think that's the best play for it. I thought it would be a good idea to separate them, to push the sport for the individuals and viewership and like smaller cost, etc., to move it around the world would be better. And I've walked it back, and it's just not. It doesn't need to be this like sport with a championship and a season and a league, etc. It needs to be a test, a fitness festival, an expression of this world. And so I just, man, it just seems, yeah, Madison would be great, but it only makes sense if they bring everything back under one roof. Now with everyone, with Legends, Pit Throwdown, Um, and Wheelwad, right? Like they have the numbers now, right? For people to, um, for the organizers to run everything separately and then kind of like bring it under an umbrella. But the volunteers are so tough, so tough. Thanks, Leslie. I'll let her know. Um, Kyle, the only complaint about Madison, yeah, I mean, there's going to be problems everywhere, right? I think the only problems there wouldn't be is even somewhere like Nashville, it's going to get really expensive to stay. Madison was pretty expensive to stay too, but anyways, um, competition wise, I believe it was the most exciting games in a while. Let's see, 2024, obviously the limits. 2023, I think. Um, the race was good. Then, like Roman and that, but women's race was I don't even, you can't hardly remember who podiumed. Um, I think I think the year we had the Capitol, whether that was 21 or 22, um, and so that was the last year that I feel like the events were really enticing. So was that 21? No, 22. Yeah. Boz's year was really, really good. Year 2, 22. Um, naming them, etc. So, but I do think we're doing a lot of like, um, we're the tide is shifting in the sense of it's going to take time, right, to right the ship, but the steps are being made. And I can't say that we've seen good steps being made consistently over broad time for a long time, right? So all the media is moving in the right direction, more behind the scenes, more road to the games, more um like the inside to Dave, right? As a programmer and a coach. Um I think it's nice to see in there, and I really appreciate getting to look inside the mind of the guy that like dictates all of this. Um, um, so I think the steps. No, I think just of steps about what I don't know. I don't know if we're talking about sport. More of just like the view and the perception and the hype around CrossFit, right? And Jake, we've gone back and forth on this, and I think they're so intertwined between sport and methodology or whatever, tests, expression, and methodology that if the highest expression of the methodology, call it sport, call it a test, whatever like fits the narrative, I think it can be however you look at it, is is so important to continue to push the methodology, to motivate people to open affiliates, to motivate more people to walk into affiliates, or to motivate people that are currently in affiliates to be more and more invested, um, to be active in their gym, right? Like I just think there's such a trickle down. It doesn't have to be so much that Tia is going to inspire a grandma, right? It's more of everyone. So it's like think about your average gym member who looks up to your fittest gym member. We know that the fittest gym member is probably following the sport in some capacity. The sport motivating them to train hard. They're training hard. They're being really consistent in the gym. They're dieting well, and so then the ownership and the coaches are all involved in like pushing their fitness forward and living by by fitness in 100 words and like expressing that in their daily life. And I think all of that just trickles down across the board to motivate more people to come in, to increase retention, to keep people in the gym, right? Like even at my gym at Mako, like we have a lot of people doing high rocks, and none of the coaches, like some of the coaches do class, but most of them do weightlifting. And so I think everything, like it seems, and so like the high rocks is growing because two of the main coaches in the gym, one of the managers does that, and one of the other managers is the weightlifting, like the head of the weightlifting coach. And so or the head of the weightlifting program. And so those things are really growing. And so it, I think like where your leaders in the gym lean is where the gym will follow, right? And so, I mean, so it's that. So, Gus, we'll come back to um, this. Um, Natalie, we'll come back to this in time. Yeah, I mean, I feel like so they can use the highest expression, but they have to link it to the affiliates. I th It's obviously the most important to market to affiliates, right? To try and bring new eyes into the sport of CrossFit. I think we've all established that it's probably silly, right? And because the only people that watch CrossFit are people that currently do CrossFit, right? And so I think the more this fucking camera's bothering me today. And I think the more that the affiliate is invested into the organization or into the sport, then more people are going to be invested within the affiliate. And so there's definitely a quid pro quo, like back and forth, right? When affiliates feel like they're getting value because of good marketing, then they're going to be more invested into the growth of HQ and money pushing in those directions, et cetera. And so, yeah, it's tough. I don't know what that looks like. Um, Key to CrossFit is being great again is the affiliate owners. Yeah, I agree for sure. Like my affiliate owner was a games athlete in 2008 or 9 and was a regionals athlete through like 2015 and was really invested in training hard like through 2020, right? And the gym followed suit, right? Like we had a big competitive class. The open was a huge thing within the year. The community was really strong, and he went away from training like that for a long time. And so and and you can see the gym, and it's not that the gym isn't doing well by any means. The gym does great, but like the community maybe isn't as strong globally. And so I think it's yeah, it's weird. Like I don't think we need a gym to be super competitive, but I do feel like gyms that are invested in watching and feel like they have value and a connection to the open and then local competitions and the games and semifinals, et cetera. Those gyms just seem to be more successful. They're bigger. The community is stronger. The average member is substantially more fit. And so, that's interesting, Jake. You think the 2026 is going to be a huge open? 400,000 would be our biggest open ever. Why do you think that? That's a really interesting statement. Um, Needs to be the whole pyramid. Lito, I like the clips. Yeah, I thought that was really good. I think they were timed up really well too. They'd throw them in, um, when the most people were watching. The viewership and the streaming was, all days are over 1 million watches. It'll be over 2 million probably by the end of next week. And so, I mean, it was good. I mean, I think it was really, really solid. Um, but it is important that I think whoever's coming in, they just have to keep bringing it back to like just getting owners just involved in this expression, right? And it's like again, I don't know if it's a sport or um um or it's a test, but I think what we saw this weekend is very um pinnacle and important to grow the methodology. I don't think the methodology grows without this weekend, whether you like it or not, or whatever, or if it directly brings people in. I think it is the number one driver for CrossFit to succeed long term from a brand perspective um, and a methodology perspective. Like, I think if the game ceased to exist, I do think that the methodology, the name CrossFit, um, and so the name will just go away, right? Um, so I think we're saying the same thing. You're just more eloquent. than I am. I'm just not very well spoken. I just talk on a podcast for long periods of time. Successful games, new owners, um, athletes signing up, owners and managers pushing it, community engaged. Yeah, I agree. Right. Like, yeah, they got to find a way to get affiliates to sign up. You have to find a way to make it enticing to open a CrossFit gym. That's like, so I think we're right there. Right. And the games does that. I don't think anything else does that. Um, but this is interesting. They get to be a CrossFitter. I agree. Um, yeah. Um, Mark, I think Hopper winning the games could be a gift. He's certainly the most. I mean, Justin was very entertaining in general, but Jason, he's in the light. Even if you like him or you hate him, he's a good hate watch, right? So Claire was on the show all weekend, and they talk about a heel in wrestling, and Jason can be a good heel for CrossFit too. Um, and And so I do think he's gonna be very marketable, even as like, uh, people that don't like him and people that do like him. And so I think that's important, right? Like LeBron, or, you know, some people didn't like Jordan and a lot of people didn't like Tiger, and so it's good to have both people on either side, and people that follow him, because like no one hates Tia. People might be annoyed or, um bored with Tia, but no one hated her. No one hated Rich. And a lot of people didn't like Matt, but Matt wasn't really marketable. And so uh yeah, I mean, I don't want to say he's not Jordan-esque at all, but like I'm just like the concept of a champion that a lot of people really like and a lot of people are probably really annoyed with, right? Like Adler was just boring, you know, and so I think it could be fun. I agree. Um let's see, serotonin with new ownership, how do they make it entice? I don't know. That's over my I'm not an affiliate owner. Um, and I'm heavily biased into the methodology. Um, and I've been a part of a lot of gyms. And so I mean, from a business standpoint, $4,500 to say CrossFit a year to me doesn't seem like a crazy ask ever, right? Not even a little bit. And so, it's never seemed like a challenge for me in the sense of, oh, what are they going to give me to do this? Like I've always been bought in. Um, a CrossFit gym, like what Greg created, whether he created like this style of gym, but the style of a CrossFit gym turned what takes millions of dollars, which is what it costs to open a normal gym, like a Planet Fitness or even like a smaller local powerhouse or something like that, a gold style gym. They cost millions. Those machines are so expensive. And so if you want to open a gym or you want to do anything like that, you can do it for 20 to $40,000, which is crazy, right? And then you can be operating like open and operating for a very, very low amount of money and really not even that much money up front at all because you can lease or finance all the equipment. So um, so that's step one. And step two, then you get to this name that's worldwide, like globally known with CrossFit for 4,500 bucks a year. And so to me, it seems like an easy business decision if the gym life is what you're trying to open. Right now, how do they increase the enticement from that? I don't know. Um, and so um, let's see. Would I pay a higher affiliate fee if CrossFit said you must have blank blank? Um, no, because a lot of people can like there's not there. So Kyle, for like warranty support, the problem is like then we're like in licensing, right? And licensing equipment and things like that. I don't think so. That's not why people do it. It's still cheap. The stuff is so cheap, right? Um And so I don't think it's ever been the people think it's the money because they're in this mindset that, you know, 4,500 bucks is a lot of money in a gym and profit margins and things like that. But, a lot of people that run CrossFit gyms aren't business owners, right? Like they're just CrossFitters that decided to open a business. And so I feel like a lot of people sort of miss the mark on what is um like what actually running a business can cost. And so it seems silly that you wouldn't do it, right? I just think it is. Do you get a deal on affiliation if you get no, I think it's the same thing. Sean, 40. Exactly. It's nothing. Gus, I'll come back to this too. Sean, wipe my ass with 4,500 bucks. Me too, buddy. Um, um, all right. Yeah, Ben. So my concern is that once a gym is established, they can drop their affiliation. So that's what's happening now, right? And that's happening now because the momentum behind the name CrossFit is low. It will rise and people will start opening affiliates with the name and people will bias the name over things without the name, right? But that's what it is, right? Kyle says, I see no benefit in paying a fee every year besides the name. That's the benefit. The benefit is the name. We've lost that over the last, like Jake said, we've lost that since 2020, right? The name is less valuable now, but the goal is to make the name more valuable again, and you make that name more valuable via the CrossFit Games, right? That's how the name becomes more valuable. You get more people to come in. It's like, oh, they do CrossFit. Oh, they sort of do CrossFit. It looks like the same thing, but I watch CrossFit. I want to go do that, right? And that's all about bringing those new people in. Um, all right, let's talk about the weekend. We'll go in order from a couple things that I mentioned. So Gus says Dave's program seemed lackluster, but allowed the focus to be put on the athletes, and it still provided a good test. Um, so we'll for sure do a deep dive into the programming, and the I do think some of it came up a little short. I don't know if it was lackluster in the sense of the testing. I think the tests were appropriate, and I think the right people won. But I will hold strong to that. I think Dave is underestimating the ability of some athletes and our athletes overall, in the sense of like how challenging the test is at that moment in time. But overall, I think all the races were exciting. Um, there was a lot of intensity, which I think is really good. Um, I think the only event that I was like truly disappointed in, honestly, was the last one. It ended up just being so strategy biased that it wasn't exciting. It wasn't super exciting. Um, uh, and um, and so I think he just overshot the intensity, maybe not the intensity, the difficulty of that one in the sense of how slow or fast people would go. Um, yeah, so lackluster, right? 100%. So lackluster in terms of iconic. I truly believe you cannot have an iconic event inside. Like I don't think and think of every iconic event you've ever watched or you can ever name. They're all outside. And so I think that's just a byproduct of being inside on a 10-lane floor no matter what. I think there were great events. If we go through them and we put all of them outside, so like Grip Trip. If Grip Trip um if Grip Trip was over the berm in Carson, it would have been an amazing workout. Handstand walking down the field 100 feet one way, right? Now, the 1 RM back squat was probably iconic. That was really awesome for sure. Um, uh, and um, and so let's see, events. I'm trying to think just like in my head. What was event 3? Mm, like the pegboard event. Nah. Let's see. Grip trip. Nah. One arm back squat. 6 and 7. 6 and 7 were really good if they were outside, right? Longer runs, longer transitions, bigger setup. I think it's the outside that makes it iconic. I really don't think it's the workouts. I don't think you can make anything inside a work like iconic to personally. Serotonin, it felt like old regionals. I disagree. I don't think it did. I think the workouts were certainly at the higher level, right? Because you had the higher rig. Regionals never has Zeus. It always has like that 14-foot rig that isn't quite the height that we're looking for. So I don't think it wasn't regionals esque. So I disagree there. That's what Talking Elite Fitness says. Another fucking traitor in this world of Tommy Marquez that just jumped on the fucking bandwagon to shit on CrossFit every chance that he gets after it gave him everything that he fucking has. So it's just frustrating on things like that. So I disagree that it was an old regionals feel. Um, um, mm, First games live. Yeah, TV doesn't know. Live is so much. It's amazing. Like the energy, Colton talked about the energy inside of that stadium, and so did John. Um, uh, and so they're like, "Oh, it was crazy in there," that's a biased statement. Like you only feel it's crazy in there when you're in there. It's crazy, and it's been crazy inside. It was crazy inside the tennis stadium. It was crazy inside the Coliseum. It was crazy inside of Dickies, even though it was very sad and like morbid the entire weekend. Um, uh, they it's always going to even half empty, right? Like it was this weekend. It's always going to be loud and intense because everyone loves it so much, and the passion is just so strong for people that go. Um, so it's always going to be crazy, no matter where they are, full or not full. Um, and the reason why the tennis stadium was iconic, the workouts were the same. The workouts were probably even easier, but because it was outside, because of how early it was, because the workouts, because the level of competition was low, but the workouts were still close to the difficulty they are now. And that's where the difference is, right? Like you can only progress workouts so much until you start getting really gimmicky, and everyone's so fit that it's really, really hard to write and design something that's really, really exciting without being super gimmicky, right? Because everyone's so fit, they're so smart, they pace well, they strategize well, they train with a lot of variance. And so it's hard to throw new things at them that they're not ready for. So, okay. Here, we'll slide to this one. Gus says, with James getting invited on to Boys Interrupted, saying any saying anyone but Dallin is winning. I don't know what you're saying. Saying anyone but Dallin is winning the games next year seems like a stretch. So I don't understand. Explain. He just said it felt like regionals. It was so here. This was um here, we'll pull it up because it's just frustrating, right? So like someone who was super critical of everything of last year. Um right. Let me get there. I just think saying that it's a safe, so basically they said it felt like regionals and it was a safe play. I don't know what you could have done for it not to be a safe play besides throw them back in the water or take them to Dickie's back to the lake, right? Like, look, I just think anyone that's like trying to pick apart this weekend um, is inherently in it and after it to take it down. Like I think it's okay to have different opinions, but I just think people are very, I don't know, quick to hop on the bandwagon. Like it's easy, right? And that's sort of the theme of the show. It's easy for people to just like lose their, I don't know, like lose their morals or think they're running the high moral ground by shifting away. Um, and it's easy to jump on the bandwagon of saying that CrossFit's bad from a programming standpoint, from a methodology standpoint, from a sports standpoint, execution, etc. It's easy to do that when everyone else is doing it. And so um, um, it is, it's just shitty. Um, I still don't understand it, Gus. Mm. All right, so here's this with James getting invited, saying anyone. So he said that saying anyone but Dallin is winning the games. Oh, you think Dallin is going to be so motivated that everyone else around him has won and he hasn't? Is that what you're saying? Um, and that it's going to be all or nothing for him. I think that's what you're trying to say. Like Dallin's the front runner. Um, all right. So Avera, this is a good one. The flow of the games. And I think the flow boiled down to 30 athletes. 30 athletes for sure is the play. 3 heats. Um, 3 heats. You're always going to have someone very fit in heat 1, someone that people want to tune in and watch. That's so important. You're not going to have 15 people that people don't know their names. So important. 3 heats. I hated it initially for athletes that are bubble athletes that have an opportunity to compete at the games. It made it harder. It takes away potential earning opportunities for some athletes, and I think that sucks. But from a viewer standpoint, from a flow, how quick the events ran, being able to go from first heat of men to the last heat of women in 2 hours for every single event was amazing. That used to take 3 hours, right? And that would be with long pauses in between. It was fast, it was quick, it was very viewing pleasure. Like you could get through events really, really quick, right? I mean, they got through the entire event 9 in under an hour. All the heats. It was like an hour and 15 minutes. Maybe it was an hour and 15. No, it was less than that because it was 5 minutes, 5 minutes in between, 6 heats. So it was exactly an hour. An entire workout, 6 heats in 1 hour is, dude, we've never fucking had anything like that before. So that was amazing, right? That was really, really good. So I the flow is really good, right? Teams were timed up very well and quick in between the individuals, right? There wasn't a lot of rest for all of them. It was really, really quick. It ended early every day, which, you could have probably ran a 4th event most days, maybe more events. But it was quick. It was entertaining to watch. And I think that's really a good step. Very, very similar to baseball, right? Baseball, America's pastime, blah, blah, blah. And it's made a lot of adjustments in the past couple of years to increase the viewing pleasure, right? Pitch clock, and pickoffs and things like that to increase the pace of the game. And I think they took that same sort of mindset and they're like, how can we increase this pace, keep people in the seats, keep an entire event really exciting, right? And then be really quick to start the next heat or start the next workout, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think they did a really good job there. That was really nice to watch. Like you could basically watch an entire day and there just wasn't that downtime of the fucking earth spinning that you saw in Madison all the time, right? Which I thought there was a lot of. So it was really good. Will had some nuts being there. Yeah, that was really interesting. I mean, it's just a whatever. Dr. Reed, the games were positive for CrossFit for sure. We needed a win. Definitely wasn't perfect, but I think I mean, I think it did what we needed it to do. I think it really laid the framework of moving forward. Jenna and the media team did an amazing job leading up to it. The road to the games were good. I think we're going to continue to get people more invested in the athletes as people, which is going to increase stories, which will increase YouTube, which will increase us following the season, et cetera, et cetera. I hope CrossFit continues to get out and not just rely on the camps to run their own media. CrossFit media will always be very, very strong, and everyone will always want to go on the CrossFit channel. So as long as they keep putting cameras into the field, I think we're going to continue to grow, the footprint and the view of athletes and, the community, creating fans, etc. Right. So forever, CrossFit held all the media. They were the only ones that put anything out. And then Greg completely, you know, nuked it, and then it was just relying on everyone else. Well, if it's just everyone else, it's hard to create those fans, because if you only follow Daniel Brandon, then you're never going to see Fee, right? But when you do it, when CrossFit makes a piece on her, then we see it, right? But if Brute made the piece, you wouldn't see it, right? And so I think it's important, while, you know, CrossFit still wants everyone to do their own media, and the Savon world to do their thing, and Mayhem to do it, and Proven to do it, et cetera, and TTT and WODprep. I think it's still important that CrossFit gets out there and gets boots on the grounds everywhere throughout the year to continue to get eyes on people that you wouldn't normally see through your social media, or because you follow Mayhem programming, then you don't really see a lot of the Proven stuff, or whatever it may be. So I think that's really good, and I think it's definitely moving in the right direction. All right. Avera, based on your comments, I think the field should only be 20. So the problem with 20 is then the competition becomes too narrow, and there's no room for mistakes, right? Like there's no movement when there's 20. So like basically after the first two workouts, the field is set, and there'll be no shifting. And there really wasn't a lot of shifting on the guys' side this year because it was so heavy in the top 10. But on the girls' side, it shifted basically from 3 to 15 throughout the entire weekend. And that only happens because of 30. It won't happen because of 20. So you still need a certain amount of people to make sure the leaderboard is shaking the entire weekend. If you go to 20, then it ends up being basically like you're locked in really, really early. So I don't think there's dead weight at 30. I think there's dead weight at 180 when they invited everybody, but I think 30 is a good number. There was always someone to watch that I wanted to watch in the first heat. It was great for my wife to get to understand what was happening before the good heats. Yeah. Like you lay the field, it's less exciting, but like, here's what they're doing. Okay. I understand. Now it's going to get intense. Yep. Ryan, I like 30 athletes, definitely a couple that didn't. There's always going to be some, just in everything, right? Like basically you still need Africa, you still need Asia, and you still need South America. And that's just what's going to, like, you can't just be like, oh, they don't get to come. Okay. And so, it's, I think the current qualifying process, this is probably a whole nother show, is really strong. It gives people the opportunity to qualify early. It gives people the opportunity to qualify through the traditional online route, right? And you can travel, you can commit, you can sacrifice to try and get it multiple times. I think this is the right way in general. And there were certainly some people that were there that weren't the fittest top 30 in the world, but they qualified through the avenue that they went, and so be it. And that's on them. That's how it always works, right? Like think of the NFL, right? Like you have divisions that are all over 500, and there's only 2 wild card spots, but then you have a division that's all 500 or below. And so a team makes it that's fucking 7-10, right? Because their division sucks. And so, but then you have a wild card team that's 11-5 that doesn't make it because they're in a strong division. And so that's always going to happen. And so that's okay. That doesn't matter. I don't think it's always going to be the top 30, no matter what. Like at that point in time will be there, because qualifying will never just be global. And I don't think it needs to be, right? I think other countries being represented is still very important. One is enough. I don't think it needs to be two. And so, someone like Nate Ackerman should have been there for sure, right? Do I think he would have finished better than Chris Ibarra and Bill Leahy? Yeah, but he didn't win that weekend, and so that's how it comes. That's what it comes down to, right? So not Chris Ibarra. Who got second? Bill and Jorge Fernandez. Yeah. So, anyways, 3 heats. Sorry, guys, I'm catching up. You guys are commenting a lot this morning. Thanks for being here, by the way, dude. I'm so stoked. This is a big show. I love it. Let's see. Media was much better. Downtime was perfect for shopping. Boom. That's right. Because Jody's the best. Thank you, Jody. You're so amazing. Thank you for following along while you were there. Athletes must be credited. Well, so Emma, this is an interesting statement. Athletes must be credited for generating so much engagement through their own socials. Quite a few athletes that were there don't do anything to try to push the CrossFit games, which is silly to me, right? Like, I think CrossFit would benefit from trying to find a way to collaborate and compensate athletes for pushing, buy tickets, come see me. Like, they're just, and I think moving forward, I really feel like that's going to be something like giving an athlete a code, like something that's going to help them and show them that they should push the CrossFit games. Um, you know, because someone like Brooke Wells, who has 2 million followers, didn't push them at all, right? But CrossFit needs to do something there that is in collaboration with athletes that are qualifying, that push the CrossFit games. Hey, watch this. Here's this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, there's something there. I just don't know what it is, but hopefully Jenna is working on some form of collaboration in that aspect. Here, Alexander, we'll lock this in. What to improve for next year? I'll come back to it. I just want to catch up on comments. Irene, I think we're talking about the rope, maybe. The rope? You mean the pegboard? Is that what you're talking about? All right, so pegboard, I think, was definitely what you're talking about, Jorge. Thank you. Clock, what's up? You know it. It's because of the thumbnail, for sure. I'm like an hour behind on comments. Okay. So excited for the NFL and college football. Let's go, baby. Miami coming in at number 10. All right. Okay. Lito, you say that, but the people who qualified from Asia weren't Asian. Well, he was. The guy who qualified was Russian. And so, I mean, like, like Russian is like both European and Asian. So, like, it's hard to say that it's not 100% true. And then I think wasn't, I don't know. I guess not. So either way, like, I mean, it's just a big continent, right? So you came through that qualifying process. They opened it up because they wanted more people to come. So, that's like within the event itself, but either way. Okay. I'm still kind of surprised he didn't. Are we talking about Ricky maybe? Jorge, agreed, Kyle. Should be the last chance. Oh, Kyle. Here we go. Move the online qualifier to last. No, I think the online qualifier should be first. I think it should open the season. No, let's see. Yeah, I think I like it last instead of I think you give it 10 spots. It's the last chance. Everyone watches it. And then what needs to happen truly is it needs to sort of be like the COVID games, right? Like, the people that qualify for that, it needs to be a small number, and the the games crew needs to do like updates. Like that's what needs to happen. So it needs to close every night for 3 nights, 2 workouts. Workouts are in, and then the team needs to work together to like pull in videos and watch them at real time and like do an update show on it. Like that's what we need for an online qualifier to make it super exciting. Um so I think that's like the biggest um I mean, they did. So Ryan said he missed having Friday Night Lights and Saturday night. I mean, there was a Friday night and a Saturday night event. They were just earlier, right? Um, Christian Hiller's post. What are your thoughts about Hiller's post? Oh, the knee sleeves. So it's in the rules for sure, right? Does it give him that much of a competitive advantage? I don't think so. Um, I don't think. I mean, it's in the rules, and he should have just been told no. Um, but it was missed. But I don't think it changed the outcome. I don't think it changed the outcome of the event at all. Um, because you weren't rebounding anyways. And so I don't think it makes that big of a difference. And so it is in the rules and he shouldn't have done it. Right. And it's on the judges. And so when they walk out so from the back, when they walk out, they get scanned. Okay, they get scanned on like what they're wearing. Are they like viewing? Are they doing anything, wearing anything that shouldn't be done? And so they missed it. It's and so I don't think it gives him that competitive advantage, or at least I don't think it made a difference in the finishing of it. Um, and so I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's a nothing burger in general. I don't think it's anything we need to like have a flip about. It was against the rules, but you wouldn't walk back and take his points away for something like that, right? There's probably a solid um argument that he has no idea that that's against the rules and he wouldn't do it in general. I doubt that he knows that like you can't fold them down. You know what I mean? Brooks Sprague seems to ride the line on stand. Does he? I don't think so. Um I don't think I don't know. I don't think he does that at all. Maybe I'm just missing. I haven't noticed that. Um I also think competitions should coordinate. So I don't think there's enough time in the season to do that, to have them all in a weekend back to back. And so that's just going to be impossible across the world in general. It would just be almost so hard, right? Because you got to remember, these competitions aren't getting any money from CrossFit, right? So it's just on them to make as much money as they can to make this something viable for long term. So you can't expect them to be perfect along the season. Um, And, I didn't bring the monitor in here. Uh-oh, hope Bennett's not crying. So you're always gonna have those things, right? Because CrossFit's not running it, then that's gonna be impossible. I think it would maybe make a better opportunity, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Patrick, how can they make the TV viewing experience better? Um, uh, I agree. So it's it's really fast, right? Better angles, view from the finish platform. Even the announcers couldn't name the finishers. So the announcers are only seeing like the screen. They're only talking about what's on the screen because if they're talking about other stuff, then they miss it. Um, but it is hard, right? Like there's so much that goes back and forth to get the right people on the screen at all times, knowing the race. Like Justin finishing and beating out Sprague didn't even make the fucking camera. Like that's a huge deal. Like Justin beating out James in that final seconds in the last event didn't change anything for Justin, but it took second place away from James and gave it to Ricky, right? So that was a big deal, right? Like that was a huge deal. Um, Colton's rope. I'll go back to it. Go Vols. Athletes had a code this year. Not all of them. I don't think so. It's only the ones that wanted. And so, um, and um, even if they were, they didn't push it, right? Like maybe Colton did or whatever. Like there needs to be a better job there. Um, So Africa was not well represented. Speaking as an African, isn't Christina Leviticakis? Isn't she African? Am I wrong? It says Zimbabwe. I don't know. Torian, is she last chance qualifier? Is she not? Is she not South African? I have no idea. But that's on the. Um, I don't tell me, Alex. 40 cuss no athletes is better. Tell me why. Why do you think that? I don't think so. I think. Yeah. Tell me why you think that, and we'll dig into it. Oh, Colton's rope breaking. So this is the thing. So you guys were talking about Colton's rope breaking and that he didn't try and get some time back for that. So he chose to use that rope. Ropes break all the time, like literally all the time. If you're using them frequently, then they have a chance to break. I don't think it's a bad look on Velites at all. I think it's Colton changing ropes because he said it felt better, right? So he was using it, right? It's a new rope. The first thing I do with a new rope, I'll use it a little bit and then I make sure to tighten it because the bolts could be loose, they can not over tighten, et cetera, et cetera. You know, a bolt just comes out and it's just loose. And it, you know, other people on the floor were using Velitas ropes too, and they didn't break. So I don't think it's on them. It's also, he wasn't required to use it. So there's no way he could have got time for that. Asking for time would have been absurd. Asking for time for that would have been the same as Noah asking for time for taking a knee last year. It would have been the same thing, right? Like it just would have been silly. Indoor stuff always seems like some Disney on Ice expo. I don't, you said that before, and I don't really there. So CrossFit, the patellar tenderness versus performance. Theoretically, if you had a stretch behind the knee and you didn't have to collapse all the way down, it could spring you theoretically, but I think it's a reach. Winner of the Open should get an automatic invite to the games. I don't know about that. I'm indifferent. Are 10 events enough? I loved how it all worked out, but I agree. I think 10 is a low amount for the CrossFit games overall, especially when 4 of them, including the back squat, were under 4 scores. So 400 points were under a total time of like 14 minutes, right? So I think it was I think it could have been short. I think it might have been a little short. We're going to talk about programming in another thing. All right. Oh, the GHGs. Everyone does that. I don't think that's there. Is the CrossFit Medical Society their take on PT? I don't know what that question means. Maybe ask it again. Oh my God, I'm so far behind. Guys, this is great. We don't have enough competition level in CrossFit. Yeah, I agree. Colton had been using the Velitas rope, but his personal one was a little short, so he cut the provided one, not as short, and just didn't. Yeah, right. So like it's exactly what I said, right? So it was his choice. There's no way he could have got points back for that. But anyways, we're not gonna. This is like an old school thing. Should podium finishers of the games from the year before get an automatic invite? No, because I think part of I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they should. Because it's part of the season, right? Like I think it's just part of the thing. We want these other events to be successful, right? And if we start giving invites, then these smaller events will have less people, right? So very much talking about these in-person events that had all these athletes there that were pulling out last minute, Syndicate Crown, you know, because athletes qualified, etc. I think we want these events to grow, and we need big names at these events in some capacity. And so I don't think we need to. This will take away I think this will take away from the semifinals and the lower echelon events, and I think that would be less than ideal, right? Like, the tour championship, you still have to play to get the points, right? You don't just get to come back. And yes, m- um, mm, like the Masters and US Open and things, you get invited back for sure. Um, but I think for CrossFit specifically, I think we're not at that point yet. We need these big name athletes at events throughout the year, in general. Yeah, 2 teams in the World Series should make the playoffs. Yeah, I think every year, right? Especially because this a lot of this sport is about longevity. Then I think it's going to be unfair for athletes to not have to go through the same rigors to get to that point. No, we haven't even made it. Haven't even made it to Ben yet. All right, let's talk about this. Um, it was the same last year, right? So Hopper and Sprague are both tall. Heavy was this year's beneficial to big guys. I think just the level of athlete is shifting to that. Ricky's not a big guy, so it's hard to say that, but um, uh, but Hopper, Ricky won last year. It was all big guys. It was James, Dallin, and Brent Fikowski, right? So like it in last year was the cardio games. So I think just the big guy is learning how to thruster fast, do burpees faster, and cycle gymnastics quicker. And so you know they're just starting to catch up to the calisthenics ability and the body to weight ratio stuff of the smaller guys, and they're stronger. So okay, thank you guys for joining for the games. Let's talk about the thumbnail. Hopefully Ben doesn't get too mad at me about the thumbnail. But I am I'm hot. So someone sent me where is it? All right. Let's see. Let's go to Seth's. Go to Seth's jump ship. Go from there. Do I not follow Seth? I do follow Seth. Story. Pause. Okay, I can get here. Here we go. There's no fucking way it's rage bait. He really truly thinks that this is the right thing. All right, here we go. So someone sent me this. I was going to bed and someone sent this to me at like 10:15 last night. And so this is Seth. Another figure built his brand on the back of CrossFit's generosity, featuring him in his gym for years. Now he's pretending he has something better. He's a liar. He's one of three things. He's flat out lying. He never fully understood, and he's arrogant enough to truly believe. By the way, I know Savan went on, if you guys listened or whatever, and he was, I don't know, maybe more politically balanced than I'm going to be, but, uh, and it is 100% number three. It's arrogance that he thinks that he's doing something different and better when it's the same exact thing. Ben Bergeron owns CompTrain, in case you guys don't know. And CompTrain was as big, if not bigger, than what Mayhem is currently at their peak. They ran anywhere from 10 to 15,000 members through a monthly program and a template program, not including affiliate, for like 6 years. from 2014, 15, all the way to 2021. Okay. That's $40 a month at 10 to 15,000 people. We're talking $500,000 a month. Okay. For years. For years. And it was CrossFit. And it's still CrossFit. CrossFit New England is still CrossFit. CompTrain says CompTrain in it. So this was for his gym, not CompTrain, maybe the program, but it to say that you do it differently and it's not CrossFit anymore is absurd. He does look a little sick for sure. I was thinking that. And it's just cowardly, and like people think it's this most like that they're doing it better and that this is what the people want. This is what's going to get more people in the gym. And it's just absurd, right? You're doing CrossFit. You can change and you can not do muscle ups and rope climbs or whatever, or heavy snatches, etc. Like you can lower the complexity, and that's fine. A lot of gyms don't do high skill gymnastics and super heavy lifting because that doesn't fit the narrative. But don't fucking say it's not CrossFit. Like like stop trying to leverage the fact that you think CrossFit is dying and now you're going to pivot away, right? When it gave you millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? It supported you. The concept did, the methodology did, the name did, and it literally gave you millions and millions and millions of dollars. And now, because it doesn't fit your narrative anymore, you're just going to run away from it. And again, you can shift and just say, just the name CrossFit is not something that I'm going with anymore. We're still doing the same thing, right? We're just going to, we're just not going to be affiliated for for other moral reasons, right? But don't say it's not it, right? Don't turn your back on it. Don't try to diminish or hurt the name of CrossFit in your endeavor to move forward and away from it, right? Like give it its respect. You owe it. You owe it. You owe respect to the name because it gave you everything that you fucking have, right? You were a nobody. You were a nobody and a nothing for so long. And then you leveraged it, you grew, and I fucking respected you for years. I read your fucking book. I listened to your stupid podcast like religiously for years because I respected you. And I just think people that turn their back on something because maybe it doesn't fit exactly what you want it to be anymore is insane. And again, you can move away from it. I don't fucking do muscle ups anymore. I don't lift heavy, right? But I will never say that I don't do CrossFit, right? I don't do it for my own personal health reasons, but it's still CrossFit. I don't do those specific things because they don't fit my specific situation anymore. But I'll never just say, oh, CrossFit was bad. It's what hurt me. And it's what, I don't do CrossFit anymore. I fucking do CrossFit every day. Every day. It just looks different. Just say it's going to look different, but it's still CrossFit. Like give the respect that it's due and stop trying to leverage the fact that you think it's a dying brand to promote your own brand as if it's something different when it's the same fucking thing. You can't even explain it in your stupid video without saying the word CrossFit and showing videos of the fucking athletes that you leverage that are CrossFit Games winners. Katrin David's daughter, for one. It's just slimy. It's just slimy. Like, so it's just fucking lame. Oh, no. No, this is, oh yeah, Christian. This is Ben, the owner of WODprep. No, not this Ben. Not this Ben. And not that Ben. I'm talking about Ben from WODprep, just to be clear. Just to be clear, not this Ben. I hope this Ben sees it, and I hope he's fucking mad. I hope he sees my fucking thumbnail, and I hope he says something to me. I'm talking about my Ben, my WODprep Ben. Sorry. Mistaken. They're both named Ben. So, someone said they fumbled the bag up here somewhere. I am hot. Get over it. He has to know he's a fucking turd. Like, this is the craziest thing. Like, also, we're going to go over the comments because the comments are fucking epic. But he lost it. They had it. They had a grasp and a grip on the entire CrossFit community for like 6 or 7 years. And he fucked it up. He tried to go into this like professional bit, like the whole school thing. They were paying the athletes. I think they lost some money there. And he fired, what's his name? He's at HWPO. I can see his face. Brooks coach. Fuck, what's his name? Anyways, when he lost him, it was over. Right. Harry, thank you. When he lost Harry, and I don't know Harry's tune or whatever, but if you were in any of the groups, the programming, it all changed, right? Harry is what grew. Dude, we're going to come back to this in a second. This is what I was getting to. Harry was the meat and potatoes of it, and that's who loved it. Everyone loved Harry. And getting rid of him or whatever it was, like, dude, pay him whatever, right? Like, I mean, I just can't even imagine having that many athletes for that long and fucking fumbling the bag. Like, I just can't. Like, why would you pivot? It was just a death sentence, and I just don't understand it. So let's listen to it because it's a real winner. This is crazy.
Is now. Then was CrossFit. It was about swinging on rings, walking on your hands, and doing these crazy Olympic lifts, trying to get athletes to compete and win at the sport of CrossFit. Now,
that's not true. That's not true. It's a lie. You've said it was a lie. I bet I could find one of your fucking podcasts that say that doing these things is part of the methodology and moving the needle of fitness and not just competing in the sport. That's just because that's what your gym primarily did. Obviously, it's what grew it. You were one of the biggest gyms in the fucking world for a long time, and then it started to die. And it didn't start to die because of the sport. It started to die for whatever internal reasons that you had, right?
Now, it's still hard. It's still challenging. It still produces incredible results.
So, ironically, they're doing a rope climb. Is a rope climb not considered like high skill? I would say that a power clean is less crazy than a rope climb. It's certainly less dangerous, right? Like in general. And so it just,
but it's made for people like you and me, busy people who want to get in, get out in an hour, people that want to live longer, play better, look better, and feel better. It's built for you. Welcome to CompTrain.
God, I'm just going to leave this on the screen so all of you can feel as awkward as I feel. Ben's message being misconstrued. Seems like he's saying, let's get back to a normal guy trying to get in an hour. It's, I don't think so. I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he's saying that all CrossFit was competitive. They're also not an affiliate, by the way. So let's just be clear with that. So he's saying that we're not doing CrossFit anymore. We're doing something different. I'm okay with saying that we don't need to train like elite athletes. I have hundreds of athletes that don't train like that, and that's fine. But he's leveraging it on the fact that the only way to train CrossFit is to train like an elite, and that this is different. It's not different. It's the fucking same, right? It's the same exact thing as he was doing before. He's just trying to say that we're not doing it for elites and we're doing it for normals, and that's okay. But he's using the concept of it's not CrossFit, it's better. And that's the problem. It is CrossFit. Say it's fucking CrossFit. Reaffiliate your fucking $10 million gym, pay your $4,500 a month, a year, and just shut the fuck up about it and stop trying to act like this is better. It's not better. It's the same thing. And you're trying to make it seem like it's different and better. Right? It varies by degree, not kind. And that's totally fine. Like, don't do snatches and handstand walks in class. That's fine. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. But don't say it's not CrossFit and that it's better than CrossFit. It is CrossFit, and that's the problem. It is CrossFit. And you're trying to say that it's not, that it's better. It's not better. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It will always be the same thing. You have no idea how to make it not CrossFit, and that's okay. But just don't try to say that it's different. It's not different. It's a lie, right? It's you trying to leverage the fact that you think CrossFit's a dying brand and that people don't want to do CrossFit, right? And by saying it's different, it's not. It's the same. So, like, you guys have watched, and I say this all the time, but like, I'm a loyalist and I'm never going to leave. Like, there's nothing that will ever get me to say that I don't do CrossFit and that CrossFit's not the best way to change your health for the better for the rest of your life over every other fitness endeavor out there. The methodology promotes nutrition, aerobic capacity, gymnastics, weightlifting, and sport in that order. And it's really important to always drive through that. And that's what they're going to do here. And that's great. I hope that, and I still hope that they're successful. I don't want them to fail. I don't want anyone to fail. Right. But I also don't want people to like slander the name of CrossFit. It's absurd. It's just so slimy and shitty to say that you're doing something different and that CrossFit wasn't the best thing that ever happened to you. Same with everyone that's doing their own fitness thing. Avera, I agree. It is the same thing, but Ben is trying to sell the program for the rest and scale up for the best. That's not, it doesn't, it, if you just have good marketing of people in there doing it, right? You don't have to use this term of like trying to slander the name, because that's what he's doing, right? He's trying to say that what we used to do was bad and we learned it, and now what we're doing now is better. It's not. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. He's not trying to say that he's going to scale up for the best and it's all for the rest. He's trying to say what we used to do was bad and what we're doing now is better. Right? And that's the problem. Right? And so it's just slimy. It's shitty. It's ugh. Oh, he turned comments off, by the way. I just noticed that. He turned the comments off. What a bitch. Oh man. He turned the comments off. I just realized that. He wouldn't want the smoke. And I'm sad because the comments section was epic. The comments section showed that the CrossFit landscape is fucking on fire and that we are crushing it. Yeah. I mean, Avera, like, you're just reading it for sure. He is bashing. He's saying CrossFit is not for everyone when it is. This is what we all do. This is what we all do, right? Programming is for the masses. It doesn't have to be for the elite, but that's what CrossFit programming is. He's leveraging and saying that CrossFit is only for the elite and not for everyone else. Oh, the Hiller video will be out super quick. For sure. 100%. Oh, right. Exactly. He's trying to say CrossFit is only for elites, and he made it better by making it for regular people, which is the exact opposite. We, us psychos, have made it for elites and pushed it to that opportunity and that thing in a very niche portion of this entire methodology. But the methodology and what is in affiliates and what should be in affiliates is for the masses and will always be for the masses, no matter what. Because he's saying it's not CrossFit, Avera. Then what's wrong with what he's saying? He's saying it's not CrossFit, and he's trying to come on the back and trying to put down CrossFit and say that what he is doing is better. That's the problem, right? He's taking the name and trying to run it through the mud as if what they used to do was less than what they're doing now when it's the same thing. So Shane, I remember when CrossFit was about positivity and lifting each other up. I mean, it is, right? Seems like a lot of negativity from either side. You know, I don't like on this show. If you're new here, I don't know how often you're here. I feel like I've seen your name before. Thanks for being here, by the way. I don't like to be negative. I'm like generally a positive guy, at least outward facing. Internally, fueled by hate, 100%. But that's not the point of this show. The point of the show is to talk a lot about CrossFit, and uh, and but if someone is going to attack the things that I love, dude, I'm going all in. I'm going to defend it till my knuckles are bleeding and I'm in the dirt. Like I'll fight to the death for anything that protects my family, the things that I care about. And I care about CrossFit as much, if not more than anyone in this fucking sport, in this world, in this methodology. I love it. And so I will defend it. And that's the biggest thing. All right. Removing Olympic lifting from CompTrain is pretty bonkers, right? When the framework of like all of CrossFit is hip extension. All right. Right, exactly. By Ben's logic, we all only do it to be competitive. So, yeah, there's no small iron. Yeah, it's crazy that it is still CompTrain. Change the name. Say like Train Fit. I don't think they removed Olympic lifting. I highly doubt that. There's no way that their gym and their program has no barbells in it. Almost impossible. If they are, then that's not even you're missing an entire method or entire portion of weightlifting and strength training. But yeah, I don't know. So he's doing CrossFit. Maybe he's not doing CrossFit. But either way, it's not better, and it's still just a variant, right? Like my 80-year-old grandma doesn't need to do it. It's still a variant of it, right? Hip extension. That's what the dumbbell snatch is. Dumbbell snatch is still hip extension, right? So, yeah, it's all right. We don't have to agree on it. Shane, that's because, so for the record, you don't disagree with this fact. So it's still CrossFit. It just seems like the conversations, or we're always having this because people are trying to leverage and trying to use that they're beyond CrossFit now as their marketing point, that CrossFit was not good, even though all of their growth, their brand, their following, their reach, their success was built in CrossFit. Now what they're promoting and what they're selling is better than CrossFit. And it's just an insane concept, right? Like it would be like building a business on a certain methodology and then getting to a point and then trying to tell everyone that your new way is better, even though you didn't use your new way to get the success that you've had, right? Like trying to sell your own construct of fitness when everything that got you to where you are is this other thing, and trying to diminish and run the other thing through the mud as if it wasn't the whole reason why you look the way you look, why you have the success that you have, why you have the following that you have, etc. So I think this is a very, those outside of CrossFit are very intimidated. I, Yeah, for sure. Exactly. So we agree. Yes. Just be open. They should grow a parent state. Like, hey, this is it. We're just doing our own thing with our own little spin on it. Right. But don't run it through the mud. Right. That's fine. Exactly. Just don't be a pussy about it. Right. Just say what you really need to say and then move on, and stop saying that we're better or we moved on or whatever it is, like, just, hey, this is still CrossFit. This is still this. And we're going to run this commercial real quick. I got to let someone in. I got a babysitter here for Bennett. So we're going to run this commercial. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. All right, so no, I don't think that's what he's saying, Avera, but it is what it is. People are playing into the fears outside of CrossFit and pitch their program without those fears as a way of saying, yeah. All right. Anyways, I think that's enough. Okay. So, all right, I'm done looking at his fucking face. Oh, dude, such a great movie. The original Coming to America. All right. Let's see. What else? Overall, I takeaways from the show in weekend. Stop trying to play into this notion that CrossFit is bad, it kills people, or it's dangerous or whatever. Like, acknowledge that it gave you what you have and you can move on, and that's totally fine. But stop trying to pretend like you're better than it, because you're not. It's just different. And that's frustrating. The games were a huge success. I think a big drive in the right direction for the sport, for the community, for the platform, and for where we are. And it's like a shining light, and just a spark that we need. For us to right the ship and get moving in the right direction. Jenna and the media team did an amazing job. I hope they continue to have unlimited bandwidth and keep moving that needle forward and pushing more content. And I think the games were a good point. I think Albany sucks. I think 30 athletes is the way to go. I think Dave made a good test. Me and John, we'll talk about some of that. And I think I'm going to try and get someone else on to talk about, like programming and balance, like, was it a balance test, etc. Maybe this week, maybe next week. We've got the Masters games coming up. So I leave in like 13 days to go to Columbus. If any of you guys are going to be there, we're going to have a WODprep booth. We'll be doing skill sessions all week. We're going to be podcasting from Columbus every day. Claire is going to be there. The whole team will be there. All the coaches. We're coaching 5 athletes. And so it's going to be a really good time. So we'll be podcasting with Legends and Bob and Joe and the Legends team throughout the weekend, or throughout the entire week. So make sure to tune in for that. I've been accruing headphones and set up so we can actually do this podcast thing like in person. So I think it's going to be really cool. Um, and so, yeah, we're moving on up. For all of you that hung around for the weekend, what a grind it was on the podcast. But thanks. And thanks for being here and thanks for supporting. For those that donated, super thanks, right? Any donations are extremely appreciated and never expected. So thank you guys so much. The only thing that I expect is that you like and subscribe. That just helps us continue to grow. Continue to hang around with us. And yeah, and if you want to support, if donating is out, that's totally cool. But if you guys want to head to prapparelshop.com, use code WODprep, it's 25% off. So here's one of their shirts here. I've got the Smiley shirt, the heavyweights. They have good training apparel. So if you guys want to support the brand and the show that way, right? 25% off, code WODprep. I think it's still active. I don't think he turned it off yet. It was supposed to be just for the games weekend, but yeah. Let's see. We'll be in Columbus. That's coming up. Iron Games is coming up. So if you're in the Colorado area or really just in the Midwest anywhere or really anywhere, it's easy to travel to Colorado. 3-person teams, masters teams, combined age of like 125 or 130. Same sex, scaled teams of 3, RX teams of 3, same sex. So I will be in Columbus 100%. Oh, hey, what's up, Claire? Claire will be in Columbus too, but yes, I will 100% be in Columbus. We'll be coaching all week. I have 2 athletes competing, Rose Wall in the 55 to 59 and Jen McKesh in the 45 to 49. We're representing Lynn Watt in the 60, Janelle Connors in the 55 as well. And Michelle, I can't say her last name, in the 70. So we're doing okay. Got a few people competing. So I hope you guys are there. If you're coming, if you're thinking of it, I think it's going to be a really good time. They've got 4 competition floors running at the same time. There's a community event. Teen Pit Throwdown is happening there too. And Masters is there as well. It looks like it's being released. They're going to slow drip it. Let's see if there's anything released yet. They released a workout yesterday, Avera. Legends. You guys have housing for me and the boys if we come. I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it, to be honest. I think there's a lot of people coming to Iron Games. It's not my housing. I stay at Ben's, but I don't know. Maybe message me, Gus. We'll see. Here's the first workout. Where'd it go? Here we go. What happened? There we go. I don't quite understand it. I think it's a total tonnage, but it's a clean and jerk, 20 seconds lift, rest to a minute 50. These numbers are fucking weird, but it's a lift, and then they gave a movement lifts, which is kind of cool. Not sure if I'm super stoked that there's no handstand walk or pulling mechanics on a pull-up bar, but it is what it is. So we'll see if pistols make it. I mean, people are going to complain. It is what it is. But I like this because it can kind of lock in my programming for the next few weeks, which is kind of nice. Hey, Tristan, if you're still watching, do you want to do a show on preparing, like what games training looks like and like letting me dig into your brain on the show about program design leading into the CrossFit games, like the individual CrossFit games? I would enjoy that. Kyle, do we think we see swimming next year? Yes. Avera, are all masters doing the same tests and scaled for age? Yes. Usually 55 doesn't do one of the tests. They have like one less workout. And then, but 55 plus has never done pistols from semifinals onward. Actually, I don't think they've ever actually programmed pistols for 75 plus, 55 plus. And so it usually is adjusted appropriately. It's usually step ups, and it probably will be there. I doubt it'll be this. Like, they'll probably just, whatever that workout is probably going to get skipped, in my opinion, because that's usually what happens. I doubt this is like being whiny um, about pistols, 35s and 40s. I don't like pistols in general as a test. I do think they're a movement that has little to little reward and a lot of risk for if you, and this is the last thing that I'll finish with, if you're looking into like the methodology and what it promotes of like power expression, moving large mass over great distance, then the squat is just better and more effective in general. The pistol is slower, right? And it creates a compromised position. No one can, just like so many people just can't do it in general. So I don't think it's really a really good movement to test, to be honest. It's wonky. Everyone's in their toes, right? It's like the ring handstand push-up. If you can do it right, it looks great. But when when I say the majority, I mean literally like 95+% are in their toes doing a pistol, even at the games athlete level, it's probably not a valid. Like, it just probably is a movement that just doesn't need to be addressed anymore, right? So I don't like pistols in general. So we have overhead squats and pistols and a lot of running. Um, yeah. Yvonne, come back for the next one. This is a whole nother gist, but I got to run, guys. Thank you so much. And we'll finish with our outro, right? And thank you guys for being here again. Come to Coda Iron Games. I programmed it. Well, we programmed it, but WODprep is there. Love to see you guys there. If you don't want to do a competition, that's fine. Hope to see you in Columbus. I'll see you either later in this week in the afternoon or on Friday morning. And you guys have a great one. Have a good one. And as always, be a savage. Oh no, what happened? Play.